So can you tell us, Douglas, what is eventing in a nutshell?
Okay, Georgie, eventing initiated as a military precision training exercise in Europe, where they put soldiers through certain procedures to train them to go into battle, to train their horses to go into battle, to train them as a unit to work together. So they created challenges for them to test them as a unit, whether they're ready for battle. So these tests they derived into the sport over many years. It's one of the first Olympic sports that were equestrian sports that were introduced, whereby you have various sort of challenges that were created: jumping, galloping, control, fitness, balance, rhythm, and they're all packaged into it. And this, over many years, has now sort of like created our sport, and our sport is still evolving. I can assure you. It used to be a 5-phase where it included roads and tracks, and it had fitness aspects, and two phases of roads and tracks, plus cross country, plus dressage, plus show jumping. It's now been reduced to a certain extent by taking out the roads and tracks aspect. I'm unfortunately old enough to have still done roads and tracks when I was competing overseas and understand what the long format used to be like. Today it's reduced. We now have 2 formats. What we deem as a long format, which we do over 3 days, where all the tests are sort of like expanded. The cross country is longer. We don't have roads and tracks and steeplechase any longer. So now
if I can just interrupt. Why were the roads and tracks and the steeplechase removed from the 5-day eventing?
Well, I tell you what really happened is that our pressures of running big international events, specifically Olympic Games, is that to keep our sport in the Olympic Games, we needed to actually compress it. We had to reduce the numbers of competitors to a certain extent, because our sport generally would take up 3 days, and it would be a long 3 days requiring lots of space and lots of stabling and lots of the pressures of international sport now are upon us. We have to reduce the sport. So even today's Olympic game is a compressed format of what we do at World Championships. So the sport, all sports do progress at some point in time. And that's why we've now had to compress our format to a certain extent. Okay. Some people say it's sad that we've lost the roads and tracks and steeplechase phases. However, there's also a lot of social responsibility on eventing because of the perception of the public watching it. Is it cruel? Is it pushing them too far? So there a lot of dynamics, and all those dynamics playing into one direction, saying, okay, we'll compress the format, but we'll still keep the challenge.